Welcome and thank you for returning to this sacred space. Today's message is not one of noise or urgency, but of a deep, almost inaudible calling, a vibration you may feel more than hear, especially if Scorpio lives within your chart, in your sun, your moon, or the quiet territory of your rising sign. This moment is here for you, not to overwhelm, but to awaken. We are now just days beyond the pink full moon, a moon that didn't just illuminate the sky, but expose the terrain within. And while for some signs the light has faded, for you it has only begun to penetrate deeper. There's something moving now beneath the surface. Slow, unshakable, sacred, a truth long buried, a self long silenced, a grief that has waited patiently for the right time to be held, not hidden. This is not the beginning of something new, not yet. This is the surfacing, the reckoning, the moment you realize that what you've carried through silence, strength, and sheer survival no longer fits the soul you are becoming. So breathe slowly as we begin. Because what rises from the depths today is not meant to break you. It's meant to bring you back. In these tender days after the full moon, you may find yourself unraveling in ways you didn't expect. Not falling apart, exactly, but softening. As if something inside you, long held in silence, is finally exhaling. You might feel disoriented, ungrounded, even strangely hollow at moments, as if parts of you have gone missing, when in truth they've only begun to loosen their grip. This is not regression. It is revelation. The full moon's light may have passed, but what it revealed continues to echo through the quieter chambers of your being. You are now asked to walk without the glow that once made everything visible, to navigate not by outer signs, but by the pulse of your own inner knowing. Grief may come suddenly, wrapped in old memories you thought you had outgrown. You might dream of someone you no longer speak to, feel the ghost of a conversation that was never truly finished, or ache for a version of yourself you abandoned just to survive. These feelings are not mistakes. They are not signs that you are slipping backward. They are invitations, soft, sacred ones, to revisit what still lingers in the shadows, not to judge, not to fix, but to witness. Let them rise, let them move through you like tide through stone. There is wisdom in your vulnerability. There is guidance in your tears. I speak to you not just from astrology, but from a knowing that lives in my bones, the kind that has sat beside grief and waited for it to speak. I have walked through seasons like this where the pain felt larger than the body, and yet somehow it also felt necessary. Not as punishment, but as preparation. Because Scorpio healing is never surface level. It demands presence. It demands truth. And truth, as you know too well, can sting before it sets you free. So if you feel raw, good. It means the armor is loosening. It means life is asking to touch you again, not through control, but through surrender. And this surrender is not weakness. It's your return. Let this be your compass now. What feels real, even when it hurts, is what's trying to transform you. Let yourself be changed. Because what comes next, what rises from this sacred disintegration, will not be a version of you patched together out of old survival. It will be the you that knows how to rise and still remain whole. Love for Scorpio has never been something you approach lightly. You don't skim the surface. You enter fully, deeply, sometimes even when it hurts. That's your nature. When you love, it's all-consuming, often intuitive, and almost always transformative. But transformation doesn't always mean staying. Sometimes it means releasing. Lately, you may have felt something shifting in your relationships. A subtle sense of distance, a quiet hollowness, conversations that feel like they're circling without landing. Or maybe it's just a growing awareness that you've been shrinking to keep the peace. These are signs, not necessarily that something is wrong, but that something has run its course. That the form of connection once held no longer reflects where you are now. There's a common impulse to fix it, to revisit, to try harder. But this moment isn't about trying harder. It's about seeing more clearly. You may be at the point where you're no longer asking whether someone loves you, but whether they're capable of meeting you where you are. Emotionally, spiritually, energetically, because for you, connection without depth is never enough. If someone cannot meet you in your truth, then holding on becomes a form of self-abandonment. And yet, I know how hard it is to let go, especially when so much of your identity has been shaped around holding on. Loyalty is your nature, but loyalty to others should never come at the cost of loyalty to yourself. For those who are currently in partnership, ask yourself, am I being seen here or simply tolerated? Am I being met or managed? Not every change requires an ending, but it may require a redefinition, a new agreement, a shift in expectations that allows both of you to show up as you are, not as who you were. And for those of you who have been walking alone, intentionally or after heartbreak, this space you're in now is not a void. It's a container. It's a space being cleared so something more aligned can find you. But it won't show up if you're still anchored to what no longer fits. That doesn't mean rushing out to find someone new. It means honoring your own emotional real estate, clearing out the patterns, the assumptions, the silent contracts that kept you entangled in dynamics that never truly held you. This is a time to reclaim presence over performance, to feel without dramatizing, to choose connection not because it fills a void, but because it reflects your wholeness. The love that comes after this kind of clarity will feel different, calmer, cleaner, and most of all, mutual. And that's where we'll turn next, toward the symbolic guidance that's emerging for you now, because you are not just being asked to let go. You're being asked to prepare. Something new is on its way and it needs space to land. This evening, as the sky begins to darken and the energy of April 15th settles in, carve out a moment just for yourself. No distractions, no performances, just presence. Find a quiet space, somewhere you feel safe to let go. Take a piece of paper and write down what you're ready to release. Don't overthink it. Let it come naturally. It could be a version of yourself you no longer need to maintain, a role you've played for too long, a resentment that's been quietly corroding your joy, a relationship even, or a belief that once protected you but now only confined. Fold the paper slowly with intention. Hold it to your chest. Breathe into it, not to cling, but to acknowledge. You held it for a reason. And now it's time to set it down. Speak these words out loud or softly within. What no longer serves my becoming, I return to the earth. What still holds life, I carry forward in truth. Then burn it. Watch as the paper curls, darkens, turns to ash. Let the smoke rise as a silent prayer. Let the fire do what fire does, transform. And don't rush to move on. Let what's left be still for a while. When you're ready, close this ritual with a gesture of care, something small but sacred. Water a plant, light a candle, make yourself a warm, grounding drink. Touch your heart. Let your body feel that you are not leaving anything behind without also offering yourself something new. Because healing doesn't mean pretending nothing ever broke. It means becoming whole in a new way. It means acknowledging the cracks and deciding that nothing leaking from them will go to waste. This is your turning point, not because everything is fixed, but because you've chosen to meet yourself here exactly as you are. And that, Scorpio, is where your power truly begins. Lately, you might have been noticing the number 9 in unexpected places, appearing on receipts, the last digit of the time when you glance at the clock, in dreams that linger long after waking. These patterns aren't random. They rarely are, especially for someone as attuned to subtle shifts as you are. The number 9 carries with it a vibration of closure, but not collapse, of completion, but not absence. For Scorpio, this is a particularly meaningful signal because you don't just experience endings, you undergo them. You don't skim the surface of change, you dissolve into it, allowing what's no longer aligned to die in order for something more authentic to emerge. That's what the presence of this number is reminding you of now, that what's ending is not punishment, it's permission. You've reached the final page of a chapter. Perhaps one you didn't expect to close this soon, or one you've been trying to hold open longer than you needed to. This number is a quiet confirmation. The karmic loop has been walked. The lesson isn't just understood in your mind, it's been absorbed into your being. You know now what you couldn't have known before. And that knowing is enough to shift how you move forward from here. The key is not to resist the ending, but to recognize what it's made possible. Not to hold on to what's already unraveled, but to honor what it taught you while it lasted. Whether this closure is showing up in a relationship, a way of thinking, a job, or a habit, understand that something has fulfilled its purpose. The discomfort you feel is real, but it doesn't mean you're lost. It means you're being asked to stand on new ground. In the space that follows a true ending, something rare happens. The mind may panic, the ego may search for replacement, but the soul waits, it listens, it prepares. That's where we are now. Not in a rush to restart, but in the pause that makes new life possible. And in the final part of this journey, we'll talk about how to meet that space, not with urgency, but with intention, because what's coming next will require your full presence. Not a polished version of you, but the one who's finally ready to live without holding on to what no longer belongs. Scorpio, April 15th does not arrive with thunder or grand finales. It doesn't come to deliver answers wrapped in certainty or signs that demand action. It comes instead like a breath between chapters, a still point, a crossroads. One of those rare moments where the past loosens its grip, just enough for the future to begin whispering. And the choice you make here, in this quiet space, won't be based on logical. It will be rooted in something deeper, something ancient in you that knows when a cycle has ended, even if the mind hasn't caught up. You are not being asked to have it all figured out. You are not being asked to map every step of the journey ahead. You are simply being asked to trust the step that's in front of you. The one that doesn't ignore your grief or bypass your fatigue or dismiss the years you've spent trying to hold everything together. The step that makes space for your tenderness and your truth. The one that allows you to be powerful and human. Because your transformation, Scorpio, was never meant to be a spectacle. You were never meant to emerge all at once, shining and untouchable. That's not how your healing works. That's not how your depth moves. You're not here to perform rebirth for the world to see. You're here to live it slowly, honestly, in private moments and imperfect choices, in saying no when it would be easier to say yes, in choosing peace over performance, in trusting that the soil knows when to rest. And so do you. You are not too late. You have not missed your window. You are not behind. You are not too much. For the right space, the right people, the right purpose, you are right on time for the life that is quietly waiting for you to arrive, fully, unapologetically, in your own rhythm. So take the next step gently, but with intention. Know that you do not walk this path alone, even when it feels that way. There are forces, both seen and unseen, aligning to support you. You are being held. And as we close this journey for now, know that what you felt here, what's stirred, what's surfaced, is not meant to fade. Let it stay with you. Let it guide your next breath, your next choice, your next chapter. Scorpio, if something in today's message stirred something true in you, if it helped you feel seen, grounded, or gently reconnected to yourself, then I invite you to stay close. Subscribe to this channel so you don't miss the guidance that's meant for you in the weeks ahead. Like this video if it resonated, and share it with someone else who may be walking through their own quiet turning point. You never know whose path you might illuminate just by passing the light along. This space was created for moments like this, where the noise fades and the soul finally speaks. Until next time, take gentle care of your energy, and remember, your becoming is sacred. Keep walking in truth. Keep walking in fire. Thank you for walking this moment with me in all its honesty and quiet power. Until next time, keep choosing the truth that sets your soul on fire. That is where your freedom lives.